Yo. What's going on, man? Today is June the 9th, 2024. It's your boy Chris, and I brought my guy Dream back with me for another episode of the ChrisBeCappinn NBA/WNBA Show. Beautiful Sunday. I woke up, Dream was probably like 7:45 this morning. The sun was shining. I said, man, it's a beautiful day to get some money. It's a beautiful day to get some money, man. So excited to have my guy Dream back. He was on the show with me last Sunday. And he doubled back around. I know he gave us some winners last week, and excited to have him back. How you doing this morning, Dream? What's going on, man? How you?
I can't complain, man. Had a good night last night. Woke up about an hour before the show. Got some breakfast. Walked outside to get some sun, and ready to talk some ball, man. It's gonna be a good Sunday.
Absolutely. So we'll jump right into it. I'm gonna try to get to some of these comments. Appreciate Tran Lucky Tang for joining as a member. And he joined as a member at 4:13 this morning. I got some more comments from around 7 a.m. this morning. Warren says, yo, what's good today? He says no brainer. He's laying the 14.5 with the Liberty. He likes the over 158.5, and he likes Phoenix plus the 1.5 and over 164. He likes the Lynx to get right today, minus the 1.5 and the under. Sparks plus 10 and the under 162.5. Real talk is what he says. ATL Shawty, the Braves on the money line, and the New York Yankees on the money line as well. Rabbit says the Liberty covered today. You think? We'll talk about it. Robert says, what about that New York Liberty over first quarter team total? That has been an absolute cash cow. Ohio Legend says Mystics make it close. One, you heard it here first. Been in the cut the last couple weeks. Watching the show, nice show. Appreciate the positive words there. Prolific says, good morning, Chris. No sparks, no Mercury for me. AOD reminding people to hit the like button. Appreciate that, AOD. He says he's loading an omelet and a mimosa. I love it. Gabrielle in here says, love waking up and knowing I got some capping to listen to. Appreciate it. Definitely appreciate that. Appreciate that as well. What up, Joe the Gambler? TJ in here. Kevin became a member as well. It's Midnight Token here. Rob always in here with us in the morning. Hustle with the Gram says good morning, everyone. Man, y'all went crazy in the comment section. I ain't gonna be able to get to everybody. We got to get to the plays, but appreciate everybody for tapping in. What up, OJ? Z's nuts. It's a lot, man. Clutch me and Dream gonna go through all 4 WNBA games. We also gonna get to the NBA game 2 between the Dallas Mavericks and the Boston Celtics as well. And we will do just that, man. I'll try to go through some of these comments and catch up while Dream is giving some of his analysis for the games. But yesterday I gave out one official look, and that was the Connecticut. I actually made a video for this game for people who had a chance to watch the YouTube video I made on Friday night. And that total did drop, and this is why you got to get the best of the number if you want to play the game. Connecticut in New York, I think it closed like minus. I'm thinking it closed like total closed at 154, 155, and it did go over, but it did stay under the original total, which I think opened at 159. By the time I made the video, it was 158.5. So if you got that number, you cashed. If you got 157.5 like myself, boy, it was a total sweat box, but you also cashed. So we did go 1-0 yesterday, and WNBA continues to trend upward. So hopefully me and Dream can keep that going today. Like I said, 4 WNBA games. Let's jump into them, Dream. First game up, we got the Washington Mystics. They will be in New York playing the Liberty. This line, I saw that it opened, I think, at like 13.5, something like that. And money coming in on the Liberty to smoke to watch the Mystics, even though they opened at 13.5. It's up to 14.5. Total opened at 159.5. 158.5. I saw some as well, and it hasn't really moved a lot. So I heard that I got some positive feedback for putting these situational trends and numbers on the screen. So I'm gonna bless you guys with that again. So on the left-hand side, you see the Mystics, 4th game in 6 nights, first road game after back-to-back home games as well. This is a 3rd game in 4 nights as well. This team has not won a game. You see that they're 0-11 straight up. They have covered the number 5-5-1 against the spread, and you can see their offensive and defensive metrics. Not great on offense, worst offense in the team, or in the W. 10th in defensive rating, and the worst, second worst net rating team as well. And they still will be without Shakira Austin, and they still will be without, Brittany Sykes. And then on the opposite side, you got the Liberty coming off a really good win, James. But this is their 5th game in 8 nights, second leg of a back-to-back, a road home back-to-back as well. 3rd game and 4th night, all that good stuff. And they got a big game against the Aces on deck. 10-2 straight up, 5-7 against the number. You see that after that win against the Connecticut Sun, to make sure that they won't go leave, being undefeated. They are number 1 offensive rated team, 4th in defensive rating, and number 1 in overall net rating. What do you think about this game, James? You interested in catching the points here with the Mystics, or the total stay away? You like the total? What you thinking about this one?
I'm still digging into it. If I was to look anywhere, it would have to be Washington points. I know just overall, I don't really like going into like historical stuff from like last season or 2 seasons ago, but New York only covered one of the last 5 games versus this team. I don't know if it's a Washington spot, but you are playing the team that had to travel off of a back-to-back, even though New York won last night. And that was kind of an emotional game where that game could have went either way. They started off like running Connecticut out the building, then Connecticut came back like they always do. And before you know it, we had us a barn burner in the 4th quarter. So it's not like they coming off a 15-point win. If I was looking anywhere, it would be toward Washington. But it's some props that I'm looking toward more in this game. But Najee Laney assists. They sitting out there at plus money for 4 of them. For her to get 4 assists. She's covered this her last 4 games. And I think this has a lot to do with Vandersloot getting reduced minutes and being out of the lineup. If you actually watch the games, she does a lot of that dribble handoff action to Sabrina Ionescu. She does it with Breanna Stewart. She enters the ball into the post to Jonquel Jones, and she'll even run a pick and roll. Believe she had 6 assists last night. So, I definitely like Betnijah Laney for the Liberty to get 4 assists. Again, she's covered just her last 4. And then we finally got some Aaliyah Edwards lines. Now, I was saying this on stream, my God, when we get them, they're going to be cooked.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Back-to-back double-doubles, right, Jay?
I mean, I think she got 3 in a row. I think she got, or put it this way, she got 3, 10 and 12, 23 and 14, and 14 and 9 for Aaliyah Edwards. All right. So however you want to do it, points and rebounds, points. I think her points, they were at 8.5. I think it's 9.5 now. Shop around. Her rebounds are still sitting out there at 7.5. For what it's worth, like I said, the last 3 games, 29 minutes, 36 minutes, 28 minutes, 12, 14, and 19. Then you got a couple games with Shakira Austin in there where she's under 17 minutes. But every time this season, she's got 25 plus minutes. She's got more than this. She's got more than 8 rebounds except for once. So, if you want to look at her points, rebounds, points plus rebounds, double-double, definitely wants to have a little bit of bread on not Shakira Austin, Aaliyah Edwards today. That's how I feel about that one, man.
Yeah, Aaliyah Edwards, for people who don't know, I know a lot of people probably not tapped in on the Mystics, but Aaliyah Edwards has been absolutely cooking. And I think, they kind of rallying around her too, Dream. I saw Shakira Austin send out a tweet, like, just giving her props for how well she's been playing and, just playing really, really hard. She out there hooping, man. She gonna have her work cut out, of course, with Jonquel Jones today. But, who else gonna score on the Mystics? Like, I saw the team total sitting at like 71.5, Dream. And, 72.5, I think. And that's a super low total in today's NBA. So I just circle back around real quick before we move on and say that, it's the over in this game for me. I haven't bet it, but that would be my top recommendation for this game. When I think about, the Mystics, so first off, let's talk about the side, like you said, Jay. 14.5 is a big number, man. I know that the Mystics are not the greatest team by far, and you don't really want to take them on the road, especially without their 2 best players, but they've lost by double digits this 3 times this season. They've kept it within double digits 8 times this season. And they've already covered twice against the Liberty. You mentioned the Liberty only being 1-5 in the last 6 games head-to-head against the Mystics. The Liberty are also 1-5 against the number at home. The only game that they covered was against the Fever last Sunday, when the Fever, of course, was coming off that back-to-back with travel against the Chicago Sky, coming off a big emotional win. So only taking the points with the Mystics in this game. And as far as the total goes, it'd be an over spot. Both of these teams haven't played a ton of games. You guys can see it on the screen right there. Fourth game in 6 nights for the Mystics. Fifth game in 8 nights, and fourth and 6 for the Liberty as well. Liberty have already beaten this team twice. Coming off their road home back-to-back, not sure they're going to be locked in defensively here versus a team with no wins, but I do think that they'll be able to score. Mystics are 9th in defensive rating, as you guys can see. They give up the second most points off turnovers, and they foul more than any other team in the WNBA. We only need Washington to contribute 72 here, and that is what they average on the road so far this season. So Liberty, continue to play fast. I don't think they play much defense in this spot. I'd be taking the points with the Liberty. I'd be taking the points with the Mystics, and I would also be playing this total to go over, just thinking that both teams won't be super locked in defensively. I think we did a pretty good job on that one, Dream. Appreciate you for the cap, man. Let's see if I can get through the chat. I can't even go through all of them. Let's see. There's a lot.
I was looking.
There's a lot of it. I don't think I ever seen this many comments on the stream before. I just wanted to get through a couple. Not trying to prolong the show any longer, but what up to my guy PZ Derek in here as well? Says Sunday edition, life's a drip in here with us as well. Let's see. What up, Tasha? Trying to stick to the comments for this game specifically. We're gonna get to the NBA as well. Let's see. What up to my guy Eric in here? What up, Chad? Chad in here. We was talking it out last night, talking through a couple of these games. I know Chad said he wouldn't take the Mystics if the Liberty was playing with 4 players, but he said if they was playing 5-on-4 without Shakira Austin and Brittany Sykes, he didn't want no part of it. That was cracking me up last night. Jamie, what's going on, my guy? Appreciate you for being here as well. Jamie says Hameen said he's like the Liberty first quarter team total over 22.5. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This team has been by far the best first quarter team in the WNBA. We even saw it yesterday against the best defensive team. The question that you got to ask yourself here, if you like the Liberty first quarter team total over, is it an emotional letdown off a big win against an undefeated team, being on the second leg of a back-to-back, not having the biggest motivation in the spot? Don't let me talk you off, Jamie, but I know it's been a cash cow for you. That's today. Chad says Storm, Mercury, Sparks, all dogs, but can't touch the Mystics. This is what we talked about last night. Joe the Gambler, my guy coming in here with a trend. He says no rest favorites of 7+ or 7 or more. 25-14 to the over, 8-4 if the line is +10. And that's what I talked about as well. Liking the over in this game. Like I said, I haven't gotten to the window with it yet, but the total isn't moving a lot. And I don't think a lot of people are going to be looking towards the over on the Mystics game. So this will be probably something that I lock in, just haven't did it yet. Clutch Smitty says he likes Liberty first half. Robert says Mystics play well in the first half. The Liberty played great in the first quarter, and they're really bad in the second quarter. I would agree with that. Lee D says risky, and I could be absolutely fried, but I'm looking at Mystics +14. I don't think it's too crazy. I would agree with there. I would definitely agree with that. Let's see. What up to my guy Markel? Says my brother got smoked on the under in the Sky game, but I'm going under on the Lynx. We'll talk about that one in a second. Jay says first time catching you live, Chris. Love the show, bro. I appreciate that, man. What up to my guy Michael in the chat? Jordan in here as well. He says, what was his play for the game? Who was his prop? Nobody. Benaja Laney. Benaja Laney is small forward. I guess you could just call her a forward. Yeah. All right, cool. Let's push on to the next game, man. We trying to be here not for too long. So we got the Phoenix Mercury and the Dallas Wings. During this line, when I was looking at this line yesterday after I finished the show, it opened at 2.5. I saw it open at 2.5. I saw the total sit at 164, sitting at 164.5. It looks like we have gotten some movement towards the over. 166 is the total now. And the line is actually flipped on most books anyway. It looks like the consensus is that the Phoenix Mercury are now laying 1 point on the road here. So you get situationally, you see it on the left-hand side. I kept it going for you guys. Both of these teams coming off 1 day's rest. For the Mercury, they're coming off that emotional game winner. Kalia Copper gamed the Lynx in that game, coming off that screen from Brittany Griner in her first game back. 5 and 6 straight up, 6 and 5 against the numbers so far. The Mercury, You see that you see their season rankings as well. This is not a great offense, the 8th ranked offense, but the 2nd worst defense and the 3rd worst net rated team in the WNBA so far. Their losses have been tremendous. Then you got a Dallas Wings team, Dream, that's just 3-6 straight up, 5-4 against the number, but they've actually not covered their last 4 games. They coming home off 1-day rest. We know that they lost as a favorite against the Phoenix, against the LA Sparks the other day, and you can see their offensive and defensive metrics as well. This is about top 5 in offensive rating, but they're 5th. Defensively, they've been terrible. And net rating, they're also 8th as well. What do you think happens in this one, James? How you looking at Mercury and Wings?
No goddamn idea. I mean, I would lean it. You know, you can't get too emotional here because I do have Mercury futures, but I was so mad they won that game. I let the Lynx do. I thought the Lynx, man. I feel like Courtney Williams smoked that last game. But either way it goes, I would probably look Phoenix because I'm like, man, this Wings team, even though they're at home, they're not fully formed. They're missing 2 of their top 3 players. So, I mean, the Mercury, they are just now getting a full team together, but they do have their full team together finally. So I think it's something to be said for that, but nothing official there for me. And I actually don't have an official play for this game, just to look maybe an over. I know the first game this year, and it'll be tough with Griner back, but the first game this year was like 100 to 90 something and no overtime. Maybe, I know it's tough, but Brittany Griner unders, she did have 18, 19, and 20. And the 3 times they played last year, all of those games went under, by the way, if I'm not mistaken. But those were all in her full allotment of minutes, 28 minutes, 29 minutes. Right now, she's on a minutes limit. She'll probably be that way for the next week or 2. So asking her to get 15 points against a front line from Dallas that ain't small. It ain't like she's going to be able to bully them. That could be asking for a lot. And last but not least, I'm going to find some way, shape, or form to be on Enrique today, who got snubbed from the Olympics.
Oh yeah, talk about it, Jay. Okay, 23 and a half minus 105 on Bet365 right now. I see the best line for a points prop.
It's not out the realm of possibility that Enrique shoots 30 shots. I'm not exaggerating. Somebody in my stream asked me what's her comp. I said probably Iverson. You know what I'm saying? Somebody
that's a fact.
Somebody just going to shoot the ball, or Russ, who don't look fast. You know, so. Those is where I would look. Nothing official for me there, but those are the 3 spots that I'll be trying to do a little more research on.
So we gotta pause the conversation here for a second, Dream, because I think it's important for people who are new to betting WNBA to understand that. And you just talked me into this. It's important for people to understand. Let me not get ahead of myself. It's important for people to understand that you really got a line shot when you're looking into these markets. And I always talk about OddsJam, you know, using their sports betting software to make sure I'm getting the best line. Arike Ogunbowale, for people who don't know, I think she probably 2nd now in the WNBA in points, because I know Asia had another 29-point game. So it's 1-2, tick the tack with both of them. Arike doesn't have a lot of help right now, as Dream talked about. You got Maddie Siegrist, which I thought you was going to mention her, Dream. 13.5, I'm seeing right now. But Arike, 23.5 on Bet365. She's at 25.5, Dream. At minus 120 on DraftKings. So not only am I getting a 2-point discount, I'm also paying 15 less cents juice. 23.5 minus 105 on Bet365. 25.5 minus 120 on DraftKings. This is why you line shop. It's exactly why you line shop. I like that, James. I like that a lot. A lot of people making, you know, a big thing about Caitlin Clark, you know, being left off the Olympic team. And somebody in the chat asked me about my opinion. I ain't even here to give y'all opinions about that. Honestly, I don't think that if I, you know, just a one sentence, I don't think that she should have made it. For viewership, I get it. But when you're trying to win, she just doesn't have the chemistry. You know, she's not. Will she make it eventually? Absolutely. She's gonna dominate. Like, she's gonna be crazy good. But Arike Ogunbowale is second. She's second on in the WNBA in points per game right now. So for her not to make it, you know, it means in my opinion, it means just a tad bit more. In my opinion, is the actual snub in this game. And I saw some quotes from Crystal Reeves, who is the head coach of the Minnesota Lynx, and she said that they've never even worked together. So a lot of that Olympic stuff, it comes to tryouts, it comes to chemistry, camaraderie, and you don't want to just be putting something together, right? This isn't a recipe that you're not following the instructions to. Like this is something that you want to take your time with, something that's delicate, right? So those are my quick thoughts there. As far as this game goes, I did jump on the Mercury here. I did jump on the Mercury. I sent it out this morning +1. I think that they ride that momentum with Kahleah Copper hitting that game winner in that last game. If you watch the post-game interview, it seemed like there was a bonding moment for the team. Kahleah Copper said she has so much respect for DT, Diana Taurasi, because they drew the play up. Coach Tibbett drew the play up for Diana Taurasi to take the game winner. And DT in the huddle said, no. We're giving the ball to Kahleah. Like, she on fire right now. Kahleah finished the game. I forgot how much she finished, but I know she had 30. So she said, I had so much respect for DT for letting the coach, draw the play up for me. I think they definitely ride that, Dream. And you mentioned the wings. Look, it's right there on the screen. They're 10th in defensive rating. You got Brittany Griner back. And I won't get into all the details, but not only is Brittany Griner back, Rebecca Allen came back as well. And that's helped so much defensively. Brittany Griner only had 11 points and 4 rebounds in her first game back. But more importantly, in my opinion, Phoenix had a defensive rating of an 84.4 when she was on the floor and a 105.8 when she was off. We knew her coming back was going to help their defensive rating out. So you see that they're the 11th defensive rated team so far in the bottom left corner. But I think it's going to drastically start to improve. And this team has underperformed 5-6 straight up, 6-5 against the number this season. They're supposed to be drastically better. But, we saw Rebecca Allen go out with the head injury, with the concussion. And we saw Brittany Griner, first game back after she missed the first 10 games. So I like Phoenix in this game. And I do think that they win. I agree with the line movement. This opened with Dallas laying 2.5. I got Phoenix at +1. But I expect Phoenix to flip to the favorite, and they have in most spots already. So those are my thoughts. I also think a look towards Phoenix team total. If you don't want to play the side, play their team total is 81.5. I do think that they can score against this Wings team. We know that they play fast. I think that the more time that Rebecca Allen and Brittany Griner gets to implement with this team, their offense is going to start to look better. They did it with defense in that last game. They held the Lynx under their team total. And if they could do that, I definitely think they can hold the Wings, offense that's really, really struggling right now and couldn't score against the Sparks. Scored 9 points against the Sparks in the fourth quarter on Friday night. So, I like Mercury team total over unofficial play, but I did take the +1 with the Mercury here. I can't really trust the Wings at all. All right, let's go to the comments real quick. Trey Dub Pick says he likes the Wings on the money line. So opposite of me there. We'll see how that goes. And Mark says he bet Phoenix money line. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, hopefully we cash it. Chad says if Wings are healthy, would be a good game, but Wings don't have the firepower here and won't be as effective rebounding without Brittany Griner in the game. And I would agree with that. I definitely think that's how she has an impact on the games. Wings won't be as effective. That is, yeah, and I agree. Also, we got to mention, and Dream, I think you mentioned it, Dallas beat Phoenix 107-92 back on May 25th. They was actually a 5-point dog. Dallas came in there. I remember that game. Enrique had 40. And Dallas is also beating this team 8 of their last 10 matchups. So Phoenix should have something to prove in this spot. We know that the Mercury weren't too good last year. Zoe says facts. Enrique might cook. So Enrique over 23.5, I think is a really, really good look if you guys have access to bet 365. What else? Jamie says Mercury Wings first quarter over 41.5 is what he likes. Chad says she's going to have Rebecca Allen draped all over her. Pretty sure he's talking about Enrique. He says Enrique is going to shoot 30+ times guaranteed, and I would agree with that as well. I definitely agree with that. That's why I like the over 23.5 points. Kyle says, I love you guys. WNBA been making me some money, but I hate when they blow these easy layups. Yeah, it's part of the game, man. It's part of the game. Definitely a part of the game. All right, let's keep it pushing. Get to the next one. So we got the Seattle Storm. They will be, this line is actually on the move right now. Seattle is Seattle's actually down to a -1 point dog. They opened as 3 point dogs yesterday. Looks like the consensus is -1.5. When I did the graphic 30 minutes ago, this was at -2. So money coming in on Seattle here. Also money coming in on the under. Opened at 162.5, 163. It's down to 159. And it's probably for a good reason, right? We know that we just get into situationally. You got both of these teams coming off 1 day's rest. The Storm are not a team right now, Dream, that I'm willing to bet against. 6-game winning streak. They've covered 5 in a row. It took, Skylar Smith-Diggins a while to kind of get her footing underneath her after missing complete all the last season. Also, just some chemistry stuff with Jewel Lloyd, with Nneka, and man, boy, you talking about a team look like they playing with a lot to prove. This Storm team is cooking right now, Dream. 6 straight wins, covered their last 5. You got the Lynx, 1 day's rest as well, coming off that emotional loss with that game winner that happened against them when they were playing against the Mercury. And on the season, you see both of these teams. They've been both elite. 7-3, both of them straight up. The Storm 7-3 against the number. The Minnesota Lynx still the best ATS team, 8-2. And of course, we know what happened when the season started. These two teams played not just game 1 of the season, but they played against each other in game 2 as well. And the Lynx beat them both times. They beat them the first time in Seattle. Seattle was laying 8. And then they beat them the second time as well. That game ended up going to overtime, and Jewel Lloyd ended up fouling out. She had a pretty poor performance in both of those games. So now we got a Storm team that has double in-season revenge, that has a little bit more chemistry and cohesiveness. But we got a Lynx team, Dream, that also isn't, not looking like we want to bet against them either. You see the seasonal numbers there. Storm, they've been getting it done with their defense. Second-rated defense in the W behind the Connecticut Sun. We saw them go into Las Vegas the other day, lock up the Aces. Aces had 65 points and like 28 at halftime. I said, oh, wow. 4th in net rating, 6th in offensive rating. And then on the opposite side, the Lynx right there with them. 2nd in offensive rating, 3rd in defensive rating, and the 3rd best team in the league. What you think about this one, Jay? How does Storm and Lynx game playing out today?
Man, these lines something else today. They're getting sharper.
They are.
If I was looking anywhere, and I love the Lynx, my favorite team to bet on, my favorite team in the W. I love the Lynx, but if I was looking anywhere, it would have to be the Storm. You mentioned it, man. Not only did they lose 2 games, but it's the way they lost them. So you get smacked at home as a favorite. Now sharp guys, so people that watch the W probably knew that was too many points, but you didn't think you was going to beat them like that. And then the second game in the double or triple overtime with Nneka getting hurt as well as Jewel Lloyd. Jewel Lloyd could very well be 7 of 39 these 2 games. I think she's like 3 of 19 and 4 of 20 or something these 2 games. So, yeah, I would only look towards Seattle. Nothing official, but would only look towards Seattle. Where I know I'm going to end up getting is Nneka. I don't know if I'm going to take her points or points plus rebounds, but in her 2 games this year that she's faced them, first of all, I think she's going to have a good matchup. I know Fee is a monster, but Fee, to me, isn't a traditional 4 like that. She's like a KD type 4, whereas Nneka is a 4. She's looking to face you up or get you in the post. So I like Nneka points or her points plus rebounds more than anything, but something official that I will give y'all is a blunt money bet. It's on FanDuel for plus 524. It's pretty simple. Kayla McBride and Nneka to each have 15, and Jewel Lloyd and Nafisha Collier each to have 20. It's a plus 524 right now. Simple, square and sweet. I'm sure Nneka averages 15 this year. Kayla McBride has had 25 in 2 of her last 3 games. She also had 19 in the double overtime loss, in the double overtime win. Jewel Lloyd, I mean, if she just shoots 40%, she should get 20 points. Don't know if she's going to shoot 40%. And Nafisha Collier, one of the top scorers in the league right now. So that's the way I'm looking at this game. If I don't get there with a straight bet, I'll have a couple more of these blunt money bets, man.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense, Jamin. I like you being able to say, you know what, I got enough discipline where I'm gonna sit on the sideline in this one, because these are 2 teams where, I mean, you could easily make a case for either team to win here. I mentioned Seattle, 7-3 straight up and against the number, covering, winning 6 straight games. They've covered 5 in a row now, coming off a big 13-point win as a 7.5-point underdog in Vegas. In their 5-game winning streak, Dream, this team is actually winning by an average of 17.5 points. They've held 4 of their last 5 opponents under their team total. And then on the opposite side, you got Fizzy F Baby, man. They're coming off, like I said, that buzzer beater loss. First game back home after a short 2-game road trip. They also got a big game on deck against the Aces as well. And I'm not sure if we take that into the handicap or not, but they do got the Aces on Tuesday. And then we mentioned, like I said, that first game of the season, the Lynx beat this team by 13 points. That game only finished with 153 points. And then in game 2, we saw 102-93, but that game did go to overtime. So it kind of feels like, Seattle might have this one circle, man. I do like Seattle in this spot if I had to play the game, but maybe something I'll look towards live. I do want to bring this comment back up by Joe, because I do think that this is, and I would have wanted to get ahead of the number. These are good offensive teams, as you guys can see. Well, you guys can't see it right now, but 6th and 2nd offensively. But look at the defensive ratings, number 2 and number 3. And Joe has an interesting query here. He says when two teams that have a win percentage that's above 65%, so we're talking about elite teams, and the line is between 3s. So this is what I always talk about when it's projected to be a very tight game, kind of like the same thing with the Liberty and the Sun yesterday. You see those games go under. He said if it's the first 20 games of the season, they're 30 and 20 to the under. So under would be the way that I would look, and I would also be taking the Storm here. I don't even know if they need the points, just because I like them more. I know the Lynx are coming off the loss, but I like the Storm more just because situationally it's double in-season revenge. They lost at home, and to me they're playing with a little more cohesive. Plus the Lynx lost to the Aces already, and the Storm just took care of the Aces, made them look like they were a regular team. So it's only Storm for me in this spot. Didn't get to the window with this one. Let's see what we have coming up here. Oh, another thing I wanted to mention. So speaking of Joe the Gambler query, I got one I wanted to mention. So I looked at teams that previously won as a road dog, and then they're road dogs again, and they're not playing on the second leg of a back-to-back, and it's a short line. So they're short road dogs after winning as a road dog with rest. 23-16 straight up, 23-15-1 against the number. And these are all regular season games. Say that the Storm end up winning this game as well. So some pretty decent numbers there towards Seattle as well. It's the only way I would look in this one. Let's keep pushing, Dream. We got one more WNBA game, and then we got an NBA game as well. And let's jump into the last one. So last one on the W side, we got the Aces and the Sparks line down to 11.5 now. Is that down to 10.5 now? This money is still coming in on the Liberty. I mean on the Sparks here. So they're gonna be a public dog for sure. Total drop from 164.5 down to 160.5. You guys see 162. So line has moved a point in the last 30 minutes, and also the total has dropped 2 points in the last 30 minutes. So setting the stage for this one, the big thing we got to mention here, you guys won't see it on the screen, is that we have a key injury here. Big injury news, and that is that Young will not be playing for the Aces today. She wasn't supposed to play 2 games ago when they played the Dallas Wings. She gutted it out. She played in that game, and she looked terrible against the Storm in that game on Friday night. I think at one point she was like 1 for 8, 1 for 10 from the field. So you get an Aces team that's going to be shorthanded on the road here. 1 day of rest coming off. Their loss is a home favorite. Pretty sure they're going to be motivated. They are 2-0 straight up and against the number off a loss this season. Situationally, this team has been middle of the pack. Dream is kind of crazy. 5-3 straight up, 3-5 against the number because they continue to delay these big numbers. 3rd in offensive rating, 5th in defensive rating, 5th in net rating. But when we think about the Aces, we think number one, right? And that just hasn't been the case so far this season. A lot of it has been due to injury. And I think Becky Hammond going to have the ladies fired up today for sure. But can they get it done without, 2 of their very, very great players? We know that this is not a team that has a lot of depth. So it's going to be a great time for, Becky Hammond to, get some minutes to a couple of these other players. We know Tiffany Hayes will be in there. She's going to probably play a lot of minutes today. And you look at the Sparks on the opposite side, situationally, Dream, you can see that this team, third straight home game. They also have 1 day of rest. They're coming off that win as a dog against the Dallas Wings the other day. And they struggled 3-7 straight up, 3-6-1 against the number. Offensively, they are terrible. Defensively, they're not great as well. Net rating, bottom 3 in the WNBA as well. But they did get Lasia Clarendon back, Dream. And their bench is, kind of putting it together. Cameron Brink, if she can stay out of foul trouble, can be effective. Lexi Brown out there knocking down 3-pointers. I think she shot 4 for 8 from the field in that last game. And these two teams played earlier in Vegas about 2.5 weeks ago. And the Sparks kept that game close, Dream. They won 80. They lost 82-89. How you think this one goes?
Man, only could look toward the Sparks. Even with the number going down, I was able to get a 13 or 13.5 yesterday. And, that 15 was staring at me for a minute. I think it even opened at like 16. I was like, damn, that's a lot of points, but I'm going to chill. And then it started ticking down. And then I looked up. I saw the 13. I took that, and I seen it go down to 10. I said, my goodness. Then I saw the Jackie Young injury news. So, long story short, I won't be surprised if the Aces lose today. I know it's blasphemy. Shout out to Asia Wilson. Shout out to Kelsey Plum. I know they got Tiff Hayes coming off the bench. Still got Alyssa Clark and Kia Stokes. They're a really good team, but Sparks are coming off a win. And the Sparks, to me, they just have a veteran-laden team that can always step up. If I was looking anywhere where I actually did play, is Derrica Hamby points. It's just kind of an auto play. Anytime she goes against her old team, the Aces, she turns into the Incredible Hulk. She's been the Incredible Hulk, the woman version of the Incredible Hulk. She's been that all year, regardless. So it's like now she got the Aces and they hobble. She gonna be seeing red, man. You might get a 25-12 game out of Hamby today. So I will look at Hamby. Yesterday I was able to snipe. I don't know what was up with BetMGM, but just in the future, guys, BetMGM, they dropped these lines super early and they're under the SGP feature. So if you click on the game and you hit SGP, then you'll see all of the players, and they're generally listed early. I mean, they had Asia. You could have got Asia Wilson 20-10 with the Aces money line for -130. And this is way after the Jackie Young news. Way after it. Okay. So just keep that in mind. But where I would pivot, and I still think it's kind of sweet, Kelsey Plum at 19.5 points. She could get that with all the girls there, with Chelsea Gray there, with Jackie Young there, So Kelsey Plum points is where I would pivot, but I mean, Asia Wilson out there at 28.5. I mean, it's Asia. So she could get it, but that's a lot of points. I would just probably pivot at this point to Kelsey Plum, but love Derrica Hamby today. And I think that the Sparks cover as long as it's a double-digit spread, and I think they possibly could win the game. So how I feel about that one, man.
Okay. So I got a lot of thoughts on this game. I mean, I kind of shared them with you guys already, but excuse me, I did give out super Dream talking about his snipe. I sent out the +15 as soon as the news came out that Kelsey Young wasn't going to be playing in this game. So +15 is what we got on DraftKings. We've gotten 4.5 points of value. We'll see how that stands up. I think that it does pretty well today. Like I said, Sparks playing a little bit better. Ski got shout out to my guy Ski in the chat, man. So he's still a little feeling it from yesterday, but appreciate him for being in the chat. Ski says lean Aces first quarter. So about the Aces first quarter, I agree with this from Ski too. I saw Becky Hammond. She has some choice words for her team, specifically about how they've been playing basketball. Like she was not happy at all with the effort from Friday night against the Storm. So you would think, especially I know we just cashed, first quarter, first half with the Aces, when they were on the road. So similar spot against a Wings team that really struggles to defend. The only difference here is that the Sparks, they play a little bit slower than the Wings. But outside of that, everything else lines up with the Aces coming out and establishing themselves early here. And that's what Ski says. He says Becky Hammond was not happy in her post-game interview. Yeah, she has some choice words. So if you'd like the Aces, I do think you probably want to get there with them early. Maybe even a first quarter team total over. Their defense could potentially slow down their Sparks offense as well. But without Jackie Young is an underrated defender as well. I like what you mentioned, Dream, real quick on Kelsey Plum, because if we think that Asia Wilson Not that she's going to be slowed down at all, but who else is going to score the basketball? Maybe you can get some Tiffany Hayes props. But with no Young there, I think Kelsey going to have to go crazy today. So I absolutely love that look there. And you mentioned the beast that Dearica Hamby is, Dream. Her points prop, I'm looking at it right now. 18 and a half, look like 19 and a half is the consensus. Dearica Hamby just played against his team, 29-9 in the first matchup of the season. And we know she felt like she got done dirty by the Aces last year. So, 2 years ago. So, yeah, absolutely love Dearica Hamby in this spot. I was also looking towards the over in this game. Don't like it as much now without Jackie Young being there. But I just kind of felt like the Sparks going to be able to score against the Aces defense because their team total, I think, is like 71 and a half, I think it was, 72 and a half. And then you got an Aces team that just run up and down the floor. Both of these teams are pretty fast and paced. So, yeah, I'm not going to get there now with the total dropping. But as it drops lower, I do think that it's more of an over-type game. I stayed away from it. I handicapped the total yesterday before the news came out about Jackie Young. So, plus 15 is official play for me. Do lean like Dream said, like Ski said in the chat, with Aces first quarter, either the spread or their team total to go over. Any last comments on this one?
71 and a half is crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Is it 71 and a half for real?
Let's see.
That is crazy.
74 and a half. 74 and a half, Jimmy. My fault.
Probably moved up. Okay. I was going to say. All right, that's all I wanted to say. I know they're the Sparks, but my God, they could definitely score this defense going up and down. They could definitely score.
Yeah, absolutely. Jamie likes the first quarter Aces team total, locked it in. And then Ryan says, Chris, big dog, first time comment, love your format and the long trends. Thanks for the information. Happy Sunday. Let's make some cash. Appreciate that. And what's up, Charles? Appreciate you for tapping in as well. Z's Ness says, if you like the first quarter, why not the first half? Because Asia Wilson comes out of the game. That's why. Asia Wilson gonna play most of the first quarter. Whatever ground they make up is what they tend to not cover. Z's Ness. I don't know if you got a chance to watch the Dallas game, but they came out smoked Dallas in the first quarter. We're winning that game by 15, 20 points. At halftime, they had a 4-point lead. So that's why, because momentum can shift, especially on the road. All right, Jay, let's go to the one game we got in the association today, man. We got game 2 versus Dallas Mavericks and the Boston Celtics here. Line sitting at 6.5 in favor of the home favorite, and total sitting at 214.5. I got a lot of thoughts because I haven't done like any kind of I haven't even talked at all about game 2. I've been so locked into the W that I've definitely done the research, but I just really ain't been wanting to talk about NBA. Like I'm having so much fun in the WNBA. If I'm being honest with you guys, I'm having so much fun in the W that still doing my homework, but I just kind of cool off the NBA right now. But we did give out a winner in game 1. We took Boston first quarter. I'm sorry, Boston first half minus 3.5 was an easy winner. They had I think a 21-point lead in the first quarter. In the first half, was up by 17 at the end of the first quarter, 37 to 20, I think it was. A lot of time to kind of sit and digest, Dream, for the Dallas Mavericks. And we know the numbers, right? Dallas is 3-0 in game 2s, straight up and against the number. They typically bounce back. Coach Kidd makes the adjustments. Boston is just 1-2, straight up and I think against the spread in game 2. So this has typically been a letdown spot for them. This line did open at 7 and 7.5, and it's down to, like I said, 6.5. Down to, I see a 7 out there as well. How you think this game go, Dream? And who do you think plays better that potentially that did play worse? Is it an assist game for Luka who's coming off 1 assist, or is Kyrie gonna bounce back after shooting just 6 for 18 and 0 for 5 from the 3-point line? What you think about this one, Dream?
So much meat on the bone, pause, man. It's like I think Luka, first off, he didn't even play bad. I think he plays even better. They're gonna continue with that drop coverage. Obviously, Kyrie got some amazing looks, and he does struggle against the Celtics, but I think a little bit of that is overblown. I think Kyrie bounces back today. I love Drew Holiday, man, but where I'm actually looking is Jason Tatum rebounds. I like Luka rebounds as well. But I like Jason Tatum rebounds, man. He's been rebounding well all the entire playoffs. He may even be averaging a double-double in the playoffs, but it's simple. If you're gonna have, Al Horford and maybe even Porzingis out there guarding Luka, then you're gonna have Jason Tatum down there on the wings, probably. And you're gonna be able to get the rebounds like you've been doing. So I really like Tatum rebounds today. They are out there at 9.5 last time I checked on 9.5 on FanDuel. I think Luka bounces back. I think Dallas bounces back. I was like you, I was all over Boston. First game, I had their first half full game money line on FanDuel. I would not bet Boston today. I could only bet Dallas, but yeah, what I'll be looking is Tatum rebounds. I like Luka rebounds as well. And Dallas with the points is probably somewhere I'm gonna end up getting as well. So yeah. And as far as role players that could bounce back, Derrick Jones Jr., he's not really good, but he was getting a lot of the roles last game. So, off that dunker spot and off that role spot, maybe they find a way to get him involved more, because there were no lobs last game, and that was by design. Boston took that away by keeping their center basically in the gray area, as we used to call it when we was hooping, like basically in between on the baseline, in between the basket and the 3-point line. That's where you saw a lot of the times the Celtics big. So long story short, I think Derrick Jones Jr. could have a bounce back game. I don't know if it's his threes, but I think he could have a bounce back game with his points and or assists, because I think he's going to get the ball on the roll much more than he got, and he'll be able to make from there. So, but I haven't got there with him. May not, just something I saw last game. That's about it.
Okay. Man, it's honest. I don't even know where to start, man. It's so much that I went back. I watched game one. I watched a lot of film on game one, and you really just don't know where the adjustment's gonna come. But I'll start with this. You mentioned Derrick Jones Jr. If you like Dallas, I think you gotta like Derrick Jones Jr. because a lot of what I saw watching the game back is that's who they want to beat them. That's who Dallas wants to beat them. Who Boston wants to beat them. They're comfortable with a Derrick Jones Jr. 3. Which makes sense, right? When we think about it in the grand scheme of things, this is a young player in his first finals on the road, right? Where you're facing that beast that is not only the Boston Celtics defense. We know they've been a very good defensive team, but also that home crowd, right? Porzingis really came in and changed the complexity of the game. Before he came in, the first 6-7 minutes in the first quarter, I think it was like 12-11. Boston had like a 1-point lead when Kyrie Irving dove on the floor and stole the ball from Jaylen Brown and was trying to get the take foul. Porzingis came in and absolutely changed the game. Offensively, defensively, the bigs, Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively, don't want to be out there at the 3-point line. Do I think Coach Kidd can cook up something to ultimately come back and do a little bit better in game two? I do. I absolutely do. I think I'll trust Coach Kidd to be able to make those adjustments. There's also just like a bunch of trends. I won't get into all of the numbers, but a bunch of trends on teams that shot the 3-point ball really, really well, because we know that this series is going to be really dependent upon 3-point variance. Dallas is not the better 3-point defense, but I do think that they're going to play a little bit better than they did in game one. Boston shot, you guys can see the numbers right here. Boston shot 16 for 42 from the 3-point line, ended up shooting 38%. Dallas shot 7 for 27, only 26% from the 3-point line. So Dallas should be able to make a few more threes. You also got the zigzag with Boston and Joe Mazzulla, right? Like this is not a team that we think consistently is going to play that great, right? For whatever reason, that's just what the Boston Celtics do. And I expect Luka to, like you said, James, it wasn't his offense, in my opinion. He didn't play great on the offensive end, but it was more so his defense. If you go back and watch the game, he was getting absolutely cooked. A lot of the plays that Boston scored on, Luka was the primary defender. Guys were blowing by him. He was getting involved in the pick and roll because I think Boston is going to continue to try to put him in as many actions as they can on the defensive end to kind of wear him out and make him honest, play honest on the defensive end. Ultimately, I do think Boston is the better team. I think that they end up winning the series just because one, Dallas, it's not a player on the Boston Celtics that Dallas can just kind of roam away from or not play honestly. That's what they've always had, right? It was Rudy Gobert last round. It was Josh Giddey in the series against the Thunder. And then in the first round, it was Zubac, right? That guy does not exist. If you leave Porzingis, you can go ahead and take his 3-point prop over at 1.5. Al Horford out there knocking him down. But here's the regression, Dream, that I think comes for the Dallas Mavericks. We saw Rudy Gobert. We saw Al Horford absolutely get torched in that series against the Indiana Pacers in the last round. Can feel like a long time from now, right? When they were putting him in the pick and roll, whether it was TJ McConnell, whether it was Tyrese Halliburton, they had a lot of success. I heard JJ Redick say this on his podcast. With Al Horford as the primary defender the other night, Dallas shot 1 for 13 from the floor. That's gonna have to change if you Dallas. You're not gonna be able to shoot 1 for 13 with a 45-year-old Al Horford out there. And all respect to Al Horford, I know he wants to win. I think he ultimately is going to win. But I think that's where we see the regression come from Dallas Mavericks. I said all that to say this: the Dallas team total over 103.5 is the number, is what I like the most in this game. And I think we see a much better game from Kyrie Irving. His points prop sitting at 22.5. He had to get the jitters out, man. I know he's a very composed guy. It's been 7 years since he's been in the finals. I think we see a much better game from Kyrie. And this is not a knock on Boston. It's just a knock on Boston's inconsistency, not their defense, because we know that they're really good defensively. Drew Holiday, Derek White. But if Boston's not making those threes, we've seen it plenty of times in the playoffs and throughout the regular season. If they're not shooting 16 for 42 from the 3-point line, we can see things start to trend differently. I do think Coach Kidd sent the message. He's trying to psychologically get into the head of Jason Tatum because, he did say that Jaylen Brown was the best player. It don't matter who you think is the best player, but he said that he thought Jaylen Brown was the best player on their team. And he said it confidently. No smirk, no nothing. So, trying to create a little division in that Boston Celtics locker room. I don't know if that works or not. I just think that Luka is going to be better on the defensive end. I think that the Celtics regress a little bit from the 3-point line, and I think Dallas offense is going to be a little bit better in this game. I expect Coach Kidd to be able to make those adjustments. So Dallas team total over. I saw my guy Justin right here. He says Mavs over 113.5 is the team total is the top look, and I would agree with that as well. I also think that they cover the number as well. So maybe split it. I haven't played the game yet, if I'm being honest. I knew the line won't go move so much. But maybe I split it plus the 6. You can get a +7 on DraftKings. So definitely shot for the best number, +7. And also would be looking towards the Mavs to go over their team total 103.5. Prestigious Potties, he says Tatum bounce back game, especially with Jaylen Brown, is better. Is the Jaylen Brown better narrative?
That's what Dallas want to hear.
Yeah, that's exactly what they want to hear. He also says everybody likes the Mavs to bounce back. Yeah, I do. El Plago says Boston sweeps the Mavs. Okay, as long as they don't cover the number. John says after a +10-point win, only 11-19 against the spread in the next game is Boston. So when they win by double digits, they do not cover in the next game. I like that a lot. Henry says Boston after a 10+1. Oh, same thing. Same thing here. Z's Ness says he took the Mavs team total over 103.5 since they're 5-0 after being beat in a blowout loss without scoring at least 100 points. Ski says just got to put your team in a position to win as a coach. Some coaches need to see things first to get right. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Okay. I think that means that he says only one team that he trusts tonight. I think Ski like Dallas to bounce back. That's what it sounds like. That's what it's. I'm reading between the lines. Ski's very he got away with words. Just got to put your team in a position to win as a coach. Some coaches need to see things first to get right. Okay. All right, let's see. Hendry says we'll go through a couple more of these real quick before we get into a recap. Hendry says if you go back last match, all quarters, but the first were all 1 to 2 possessions. Mavs spread today, but I think Celtics win. I can see that, Hendry. Also, shout out to my guy, we did the propcast the other day. He shared something with me that I thought was pretty interesting. After the Dallas Mavericks, this is the last thing I'll say real quick. After the Dallas Mavericks got smoked in the third quarter, it was 37-20 at the end of the first quarter. The rest of the game was 70-69. 70-69 for quarter 2 through 4. So Dallas just got smoked in the first quarter. And they were able to keep up after that. So I think it's a lot of people. It feels like in Boston, like in Dallas today. And I would agree with that. Let's see. If Boston shoots 35% or more from three, they are 58-6 straight up. Okay, it's a hell of a number there. Yeah. Nate says after game one in the post-game interview, reporters asked Jason Kidd a question about Jaylen Brown. Jason Kidd says he's the best player on the team. Yeah, we talked about that. Mark likes the Mavs plus the 7. Coach Kidd to make the adjustments. Prestigious Prodigy likes Tatum to go over his points. Too Honest says Mavs adjustments won't matter. Okay. What up, 3-time? Ski says Boston has covered one of their last six games, excluding game ones. Ooh. Okay. So starting off hot like we thought, and then not as much afterwards. What's up to my guy Bob Warren in the chat? Says good morning, Chris. It's a beautiful day in VA. It absolutely is. And Sly likes Boston first half and Dallas to go over in the first half. It's got to be a first quarterback. Over 55.5 in the first quarter. So think that the points come early. Yeah, if I knew Ski was gonna be up, man, even if he a little dazed, he could have joined the show, man. Ski, you always. I'm about to send
him a DM and tell him if he want to pull up on me, he can pull up on me in a couple hours. He sound like he ready to go.
Yeah, he sound like he fired up. I like it. I like it a lot. Michael says Mavs too slow. I don't know, man. We'll see how it goes. Vaughn said, last comment. Vaughn says, I wonder how teams do in the finals after they win game one by 15. Good question. Yeah, I can look into that, Vaughn. I'll look into that offline. I'll shoot you a DM. And Ski says hit him. He says hit him, Gene. He'll come through.
I'll text you as soon as I get off here.
That'll work. So top looks for myself, man. Like I said, I jumped on it. This line is long gone, but the Sparks plus the 15. I also like the Mercury plus the 1. Seattle plus the 2.5. That number is moving, of course, now, but I don't even think you need the points. I like the money line for Seattle today, not betting against that team. And then I talked about why I like Washington and New York to go over. The red plays are plays that's on the short list. The green plays are plays that I locked in already. But I talked about all these already. These were the looks that I like. I think Washington, New York, both of those teams, just not playing a lot of defense. I think that's a game that goes over. You don't need Washington to contribute that many points. And I also not up here, Washington plus the 13.5. I'm not laying with the Liberty after an emotional win like they got last night. Only 1-5 against the number at home. And like Dream said, only 1-5 against the number against the Washington Mystics. Mystics already covered 2 games against this team as well. So a big letdown spot is what we see for the Liberty, in my opinion, today. And then as far as NBA, catch that plus 7 if you can, if you got access to DraftKings. And my favorite bet of the day, though, is Dallas offensively to bounce back. So that team total over 103. And like I said, I don't have money on either, which is why they're in red. But these are the only ways that I'm looking to play the game. Dream, what you liking for today, man? Let me get the update over here so I can get your plays up on the screen. What you liking for today, Dream?
Laney 4 assists. Benaje Laney 4 assists for the Liberty. I like that. Aaliyah Edwards points plus rebounds. I played each separately, but I'll give out the points plus rebounds. I'd assume that's about 18.5. 19.5, somewhere around there.
So this was Laney.
Assists, 4 assists.
Laney 4 plus assists, or over 3.5.
Over 3.5. Yeah, I'm sorry. Over 3.5.
Okay.
Yeah,
over 3.5 assists.
That's okay. Plus money.
She plays for people who don't know. She plays for the Liberty. Okay.
Liberty. And just do I don't want to get that out, Juice. Let me look what Aaliyah Edwards' official points plus rebounds are. But I would definitely recommend that. Enrique points, we spoke about that. I'm surprised you didn't mention that in your wrap up.
Oh, because all these were plays that I had talked about already. We talked out.
Okay. Enrique points, I definitely like those. And Hamby, her points over 19.5. You can get 18.5 as well. Right now, I'm looking for Aaliyah Edwards. I don't see points plus rebounds with Aaliyah Edwards, so we'll just give out her double-double. You can build that out. Let me see, 10. Or how about this? You can build out her 10 and 8 for plus 140. There you go. Aaliyah Edwards, 10 points, 8 rebounds, plus 140. There you go.
10 points, 8 rebounds.
And you can get that on FanDuel.
Okay. Shout out to Dream, man. Pulling up with the looks, man. Pulling up with the looks. Dream he's a player prop enthusiast, man. And he know what he's talking about. So shout out to my guy Dream. I'm gonna just make his plays. We'll make him black. Dream plays over here in black. And then my plays in red. So we got plays all over the place, man. You go back and listen to the handicap and decide what it is that you want to play. Hey, look, hey, Dream, real quick before we get out of here. He said, Dream love a
good. Chill on me, bro. Yeah. She shot their ass out of the last game, and somebody who had to win pissed me off.
Jesus. 9 points in the fourth quarter, boy. I watched the game. My eyes started bleeding. I had to go back and watch it yesterday morning, boy. I was tight. Oh, man. But, yeah, shout out to Dream, man, for pulling up on us with the looks, man. A lot of great looks. I think today was a great show. Global affiliate. Perfect segue. Tell them about you, Dream. Tell them where they can find your plays, where they can find your looks, and where they can follow you on socials. I just want to shout you out again for taking the time. I know we've been on for a little over an hour now. So taking the time out your day, man. I always say the one thing we can't get back is time. So if I invite a guest on, super appreciative all the time for them, being able to stop in and share the looks. And Dream, a guy that has been captain of the WNBA just for as long as I have. We both started last year, and he's part of the fan, man, part of the sports betting fan. So drop everything you want to drop, Dream. It don't matter, whatever you got for him.
Mr. Dreamy One. Long story how I got that name, but Mr. Dreamy One on Twitter. The number one, Mr. Dreamy One. Blunt money bets on YouTube. So kind of like a blunt, blunt money bets on YouTube. I stream there almost daily. And I'm in a Discord called the Cap Collective Discord if you want all of my plays. But if you can't join that Discord, I stream every day and I give about half of my plays there for free. Plus I post on the timeline almost every day as well on Twitter. So you don't gotta buy shit. It'd be good if you do though. And y'all should get his my boy Chris shit too, his membership. I'm still a membership member as well. So I definitely recommend that. But yeah, follow me on Twitter, Mr. Dreamy One, and sub to my YouTube channel, Blunt Money Bets.
My God, yeah. Shout out to Dream, man, for coming through. Always looking to collab as much as time allows us to. Dream a real one, man, for taking the time out on a Sunday morning to join the show. But all Dream plays are there. My plays are on the left-hand side as well. And we'll get out of here, man. We've been on here for a very, very long time. Best of luck to whatever it is that you guys end up taking today. Resources that I use to handicap the game are always here. Shout out to the moneyballer.com. Always shouting out my guy RC. I always say it's a one-stop shop, man, for trends, angles, stats, everything that you're looking for. Situational stuff is all on the Money Baller. And it's still free right now as well. So definitely check out that website if you guys are interested in learning how to handicap the games and, just want to do it more efficiently, because I think that's what it allows me to do. Shout out to Odds Jam as well. I always say check their sports betting software out. You can get 25% off your first month if you use code CBC at checkout. Link for all that is in the description. I'm also going to add, I'm also going to add Dream's link to the description of this video. So if you guys are interested in checking out Dream and you didn't catch that, you guys can just look at the link. But I'll retweet it on Twitter as well, so you guys can make sure you guys have access to Dream's plays and all his looks, because he do stream daily. And again, I just want to thank him for taking the time out, popping on the show, pulling up on us today to share, to bless us with the looks that he wanted to share. So yeah, if you're still watching, man, I think it's about 1,200 people watching right now. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, share the show. It definitely helps me out a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't. If you are interested in becoming a member to get all my official plays when I do make them, that link is in the description of this video. Bet responsibly. Best of luck. We catch you guys in the next one, man. I'm out.